Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another exciting edition of Struggles for Survival, Lesson 4, with your host, me, Mrs. Inman. All right, what you need to succeed for today is, of course, your mentor text, a pencil, and a highlighter. Grab those items and let's get started. All right, our learning goals for today are: I can analyze how multimedia conveys meaning, mood, and tone, and enhances a deeper understanding of the text. All right, we're going to do our first read on pages 8 and 9. It's called The Berserker and the Baby. And I want you to circle any difficult words or unfamiliar words to you. And then I also want you to look for the following words: heroics, blathered, and gaped. All right, are you ready to begin? Okay. The Berserker and the Baby by Jeff Buckner. The story of Thorir and his son is part of a larger collection of Icelandic stories called the Vatnsdal Saga. The legend was most likely written in the 1200s. Thorir the Viking was extremely tired. Vikings do get tired inevitably, but Thorir was a unique case. He couldn't stop being a hero. He went on more sea voyages than anyone else in the village, and he accepted any dangerous mission that came to his attention. His father, Jarl, grew concerned that these heroics would cost his son his life. He expressed his worries to Thorstein, who was Thorir's elder brother. Could he make his brother come to his senses before it was too late? In a flash, Thorstein knew the remedy. His brother needed a baby. His father looked at him in utter disbelief. A baby? Had his eldest son lost his mind? But Thorstein just blathered on in excitement. "We have to find him a baby, father," he shouted. Sure enough, an orphaned baby was discovered a few days later. It was brought to Thorstein, who gleefully called for his brother. Thorir came running quickly, only to find his brother holding a tiny baby. "This orphaned boy was found in the village," Thorstein announced. "No one can take it in. You must adopt it." Thorir, shocked into silence, gaped at his brother and then began to stutter. But what about my heroics?" "Precisely," Thorstein replied. "You are the village hero. You must rescue this child." And so that night, Thorir found himself wide awake with a baby whom he named Thorkel. When Thorkel did not sleep, neither did Thorir. Thorkel had to learn to walk and eat and speak. He had to be trained in sailing and fighting like all good Vikings. And Thorir was responsible for all of his learning. He stopped his heroics and focused instead on raising his son. He would not fail Thorkel. Many years later, Thorstein and Thorir stood watching Thorkel train for his first mission. Thorstein turned to his brother and asked if he recollected the day Thorkel had arrived and how Thorstein had insisted he take the child. Thorir nodded, remembering. "I must tell you," Thorstein said, "I insisted because I knew you had to quit being a hero before you got hurt. I hoped giving you Thorkel would do the trick." Thorir considered this, and then he grinned a little. "Do you know," he said, "I've never seen many mother Vikings on voyages. I used to wonder why, but now I know. You get awfully tired." All right. I think you might have found the word heroics. So heroics are actions that show courage. If you hadn't highlighted that, you should do that and then write down the meaning in your margin, please. And also on page 8, there you probably already circled the word blathered. Blathered is foolish talk that goes on and on. And in the little cartoon there, it says, what are other words for blathered? Babbled, blabbered, chattered, waffled, jabbered, driveled, prattled, prated, yammered, twaddled. And then the word gaped. It's to look at someone in wonder or surprise, kind of like, that's gaped. So if you hadn't circled that, you should circle that now and also write the definition in the margin. Okay, let's now talk about our learning goal. We want to learn how to analyze how multimedia conveys meaning and tone. So let's take a look at tone first. Tone is the author's attitude. It's what the feeling you get from the author, the person telling the story. And some words that describe tone would be happy, friendly, angry, mysterious, scary, calm, serious, sarcastic. Some of the things contributing to the understanding of the characters, events, plot, and author's purpose. So all of these things contribute to understanding the characters, what's going on within the story, the plot, like what it's about, and then the purpose of the story. That's your tone. Now the mood is a little different. The mood is your overall feeling, emotion you get as a reader. I mean, I know some of the books that I've read in the past year, the mood has been somber. It makes me feel sad. And there are other books I read and they're just really making me feel happy. It's like a good, almost like a good fairy tale. And that always makes me feel good and makes me feel happy. So words that describe mood could be happy, excited, angry, anxious, scared, bored, serious, depressing, curious. If you've ever read a mystery, the mood in a mystery that I get is curious. I want to know what's going to happen next. Contributing to understanding and opinion of authors and their texts. So the mood here contributes to understanding and the opinion of authors and what they wrote. All right, let's take a look on page 9. Take a look at that picture. So at the end of page 8, Thorir, the Viking warrior and hero, is shocked into silence when he's given the baby. Okay, this illustration is showing Thorir cradling that little baby, Thorkel, and they're just in front of a fire. Thorir looks as serious as he stares down at the sleeping baby that he is now responsible for raising. That's a sweet picture. I can already feel my mood and how that makes me feel. So the illustration shows Thorir looking attentively and lovingly at his son. Even just how he's holding the baby shows. So your tone is serious. Okay? I can feel, maybe you can feel devotion. And if you don't know what devotion is, it means that you are committed to taking care of something or someone, and loving. Okay, I get that feeling just by looking at that photo. It's very loving. So now it's your turn. All right, I want you to read page 9. Just jot down in the margin ideas about the meaning, mood, and tone of the text that you're going to read. Okay? Then what I want you to do is I want you to think about how the illustration and the text work together to create the folktale's meaning, mood, and tone. Okay? I also want you to remember that an author often changes the mood and tone of a story. It's not always the same throughout the whole story. Okay? Are you ready? Pause here and go ahead and do that. And then join me again and we will discuss and go over what you came up with. All right, here we go. So the illustration helps show devotion to family. He's devoted. He is devoted to taking care of that baby. Okay? Thorir considered this, and then he grinned a little. Do you know, he said, I've never seen many Vikings on voyages. I used to wonder why. I've never seen many mother Vikings on voyages. I used to wonder why, but now I know. You get awfully tired. Well, what is that showing? Okay, we know the mood. It's family, love, caring. Okay, the tone here, what do you think that is? Yeah, it's like lighthearted. It's kind of funny almost. If you put funny, that's fine. Joking, you know, he's just really lighthearted about it. Like, oh yeah, now I understand how mothers feel, how mother Vikings feel. This is why they don't go on voyages. Ha ha ha, right? Okay, so evaluate your learning. Are you a 4, 3, a 2, or a 1? I can analyze multimedia, how multimedia conveys meaning, mood, and tone, and enhances a deeper understanding of the text. All right, until next time, see you later.